Hey everybody, welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream for Sunday, July 24th. What happened to where did July go? Where did it go? I don't know. So hey folks, if you're new to the group, welcome. We're the first, oldest, largest, truly grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We've been around for the many years. We've done many things. Okay. I'm going to get right into it, guys. Maybe keep this rather short tonight. We've got until roughly October to get this problem solved. Democrats have control of both House and Senate and the presidency right now. We have two priorities. Number one, returning bankruptcy rights to federal student loans, and through legislation, S-2598 is the bill we're fighting for. It's a very good bill. It's in a very good place, but we have to fight very hard to get it passed. The most important thing I will say to you, we will not see meaningful student loan cancellation unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy returned. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy on their student loans. Terrible thing to have to do. And very few people should even have to file when we get the right return, but we've got to get the threat of bankruptcy returned first. So as a group, our priority, and in fact, everybody with student loans in the country, their priority should be getting us our bankruptcy rights back. That is the thing that is going to compel the president to finally, meaningfully, in a widespread way, maybe even totally, cancel federal student loans. The only way that's going to happen. And come on, you've been watching TV, you've been hopefully reading the paper and stuff. We're not going to see anything meaningful from Joe Biden in terms of loan cancellation until we get the threat of bankruptcy returned. Up to $10,000 is nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. Up to $50,000 is nonsense. Up to could mean anything. And the biggest trick that's been played on us before is doing a fake loan cancellation as a cheap, gimmicky substitute for the bankruptcy protections that should have never been taken away. When we get the threat of bankruptcy returned, all of a sudden, everything changes. The president's going to pretty much have to cancel loans. But right now, as in the current dynamics, ain't going to happen. Unless I'm totally misreading things, and at the 11th hour, Joe Biden says, "Hey, I'm going to cancel all student loans." I don't see that happening, guys. Joe Biden, many other establishment Democrats are creatures of the swamp. They will not do anything unless they are pushed. And the thing that's going to push them, that's been missing for 40 years now, is the threat of bankruptcy as it exists for all other loans in this country. So, ladies and gentlemen, getting S-2598 passed is of penultimate importance, whether you would ever file or never file. And beyond that, we'll see some good things happen, but we will not see anything good happen until that happens. Now, Congress realistically has until the end of the year to pass S-2598, but as a political matter, I think Congress is going to do what they're going to do before the election. And early voting starts in the first week in October. So that gives us the month of August and the month of September to get this done, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the one thing, and if you're new to the group, you should know this: we would not have a bankruptcy bill to fight for, but for this group. We would not be talking about student loan cancellation by executive order, but for this group launching the concept into the public conversation back in July 2019, and then with the petition we started in March 2020. It wasn't until September 2020 that Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer embraced the concept. We're glad they did, but the loan cancellation that we're hearing about now is fake, ladies and gentlemen. Up to $50,000 could mean anything, and it will mean absolutely nothing for most people. It will mean very little for many. It will mean something for very few. So in other words, it's a joke. It's a joke, guys. Up to $50,000 after means testing. And, you know, if you haven't noticed what we're hearing in the press recently, nobody even mentions $50,000 anymore. It's all, oh, is Joe Biden going to cancel $10,000 with means testing or without means testing? Or it's all bullshit, guys. $10,000 is nonsense. Nonsense. And I would bet that 98% of the people watching this live stream agree with me. $10,000 does nothing for the people who have been hurt the worst. People like, I don't know, Vanjie borrowed $26,000, has repaid $100,000, still owes $132,000. What's $10,000 to her? Forget about it. You may as well add $10,000 onto mine. I mean, stupid, guys. This is what happens when you take bankruptcy protections away from a lending instrument. You defang the people. You take all of their power away. The founding fathers called for the uniform bankruptcy laws, ahead of the power to declare war, ahead of the power to raise an army in the U.S. Constitution. And student loans are the only type of loan in our nation's history to be uniquely stripped of this constitutional right. I kid you not. So this is an injustice, the likes of which we have never seen before in this country. And now we see the results. So I digress a little bit. Let's get back to the point. And the point is to get S2598 passed. The bill is bipartisan, which is very good. We're a nonpartisan group, by the way. We frankly hate both parties. We don't trust any elected officials really further than we can bowl them. So for the next 2 months, we are going to be hitting both D's and R's in the Senate, but also in the House. Because if you didn't know, the way a bill works is you got to have a Senate version pass, you got to have the House version pass. Both chambers have to pass a bill. They have to, then they merge those two bills and they reconcile them, and then they vote on the bill. The president signs. That's how that goes. So right now, the bill that we have is S2598 in the Senate. Dick Durbin is the sponsor. Republicans, Josh Hawley, John Cornyn are the co-sponsors. 2 Republicans. Very good. Another very good thing, and we have to give ourselves some credit for this here on this group, nearly all opposition to returning bankruptcy to student loans has gone away. And that's important. We're seeing very conservative people from places like the Cato Institute and the National Review, other places, echo our call for the return of bankruptcy protections. And that's been true for a few years, but we've seen it from some very key places like the American Enterprise Institute in recent weeks and months. So guys, we're in the best position we've ever been in to finally get this problem solved. But the swamp is strong. The swamp is vicious. Well-resourced, very sneaky, snaky, swampy people in Washington, D.C. will do everything they can to keep bankruptcy away, because that's what they've always done, and that's what they will always do. So we have our fight. We have a fight cut out for us. We have our work cut out for us, I should say. By the way, if you have any questions or comments, throw them out now. If I can see them on Facebook or Twitter, I will certainly respond to them. But yeah, we are seeing opposition as fierce as we've ever seen it, certainly to student loan cancellation. That's true. But guys, that's of secondary importance. Like, I really don't even think about student loan cancellation that often, because I know that it's not going to happen until we get the threat of bankruptcy back. When we get the threat of bankruptcy back, everything changes. But that's, let's not put the cart before the horse, shall we? We need to get the first thing done in order for the second thing to be meaningful. So we're seeing opposition, like just today, for example, I don't even recognize the name of the reporter, but someone from CNN is saying how recent Supreme Court rulings regarding environmental stuff do not bode well for student loan cancellation, because it's just stupid. The Supreme Court is tending to try and tamp down the administrative state so that limited administrative power and so forth. That has nothing to do with anything, guys. It's nonsense. When we talk about student loan cancellation, we're talking about following a law that was passed by Congress many years ago. And not only has this president, Joe Biden, but also last president, President Trump, have already canceled student loans by executive order. They've done that, like the repayment pause, executive order, extension of the repayment pause, executive order. That canceled a ton of interest. Cancel student loan debt. So, Anyways, guys, that's all distractive nonsense. So probably the most psychologically important thing I can tell you tonight is don't be distracted by all the bullshit in the media. That's what the media does. The most of the media is controlled by our opposition. So we're going to see all kinds of stuff about how, student loan cancellation will benefit the wealthy. Student loan cancellation will cause inflation. Both of those things are absolutely false, by the way. And now this new wrinkle, Supreme Court is not going to allow student loan cancellation. No, that's nonsense. It's all nonsense, guys. Nobody sued the president when he extended the repayment pause, did they? No, they didn't. Nobody really can. They don't have standing. Then they know they don't have a case. Nobody sued President Trump when he implemented the repayment pause, did they? No, they did not. Nobody sued. So come on, guys. Don't be distracted by the swamp creature behind the curtain. And there are many of them pulling the strings and levers, particularly with the media, particularly with media like Forbes magazine. But it's not just Forbes magazine, guys. And Forbes is just absolutely terrible. Those people ought to be ashamed of themselves. And history will judge them very harshly, no doubt. But it's not just Forbes. It's you name it. Even CNBC has been doing crap lately. Crap. Absolute crap. I've even seen some kind of crap in Business Insider. Yahoo Finance is a lost cause. I could go on forever, guys. And so you know, if you're new to the group, we've been featured in all that stuff. I've actually written stuff in Forbes magazine, believe it or not. But the media is just crap, guys. We can't count on the media going forward. We are pleasantly surprised by the media, and we would, but we don't count on that. Okay, we would love to go on Fox News again, like we did on April. We love going into the lion's den and going toe to toe with these assholes, whether it's on student loan cancellation or whether it's on bankruptcy. But whatever, guys. We're fighting for both of those things, but the first thing is the first thing, and that is S2598. So this week going forward, we're going to be hitting a ton of senators, as we typically do in a week. If you forget everything I say, or if you do only one thing this coming week, call both of your senators and you tell them with your voice with as much passion as you can muster, that those assholes need to, maybe don't say that, they need to co-sponsor and at a minimum publicly support S2598. You know, we're a grassroots group, guys, and the most important thing, the one thing that's been missing from this group for 17 years are people fighting with us. And I mean you. I don't mean you. I know most of the people who are watching the live stream right now that I can see, those people are all fighting. You know, on any given day, there are hundreds, maybe even a few thousand people fighting this battle with us. But a couple thousand people versus 3 or 4 million people who we have in our group, they've signed our petition, they're on our Facebook or our other platforms, even nearly 10 million people if you consider the people on our Weebly, is it Weebly? No, on our Giphy page, Giphy.com/student loan justice. But we should have far more people helping us on a daily basis. So the most important action thing I have for you is, if you're serious about helping us solve this problem, and these are your loans, and this is your problem, and this is the only group in the country actually fighting the battle that is going to bring us student loan justice, and that's true, and you should tell a friend, and you should tell everybody you know with student loans, because that's true. But the one thing that you can do that will help massively, and this is frankly the minimum that you should be doing, is going to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and doing our daily actions every single day. And if you've never done a daily action, you should go to our website, go to daily action, and you should do at least a month worth of our daily actions. You can probably do one day of our daily actions. One daily action you can do in probably about a minute. You need a Twitter account. If you don't have a Twitter account, get a Twitter account. If you don't like Twitter, get a Twitter account. Sorry, guys. That's the way this is going. It's not always Twitter, but it's probably 80% Twitter. You can do bad. I hate Twitter. Everybody hates Twitter. I can't stand Twitter. But Twitter helps. Twitter is a very good way to reach out and touch people who need to be reached out and touched. That is what we do. That's what we're good at, and that's what we need you for. So do that, please. Hey, I'm sorry for lagging on the comments. I'm going to see if I can rattle through them really quickly here. Oh, speaking of our Giphy page, hey, Heather Taylor is with us tonight. Heather Taylor is our global leader, and she runs our student loan justice, Giphy.com/student loan justice page. And we see here she is, oh, wow, that's an awesome graphic. A quote from John Adams: "There are two ways to conquer and enslave a country. One is by the sword, the other is by debt." Think about that. John Adams said that, 250 years ago. It was true then, it's true today. And that is the gun barrel that we are now looking. That is the gun whose barrel we now look down, or something. Thank you for posting that, Heather. I love that. Hey, Matthew Kern says, Alan, how do you choose which people to focus on in the daily actions? Good point. We focus our daily actions in a very strategic, as much as we can, way. So tomorrow, for example, we're going to be hitting Nancy Pelosi for the third time in the past 4 days. Nancy Pelosi, she may not be important right now for S-2598, but we are going to need a bill in the House very soon. And Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House, and we're a nonpartisan group, guys. We hate Republicans, we hate Democrats, but I have to say, Nancy Pelosi is suspicious. She is beholden to the swamp. She's beholden to very rich, old money California families who have some very interesting ideas about student loan cancellation. And I suspect strongly that they probably oppose returning bankruptcy protections to student loans. I don't trust Nancy Pelosi, but like all politicians, certainly like Joe Biden, and like all politicians, she can and must be pushed. We've got a lot going for us, by the way, with the Democrats, guys. Democrats have not controlled the House and Senate since 2007. They blew it in 2008, actually. They blew it. They blew it on bankruptcy. They screwed us. And here we are, 15 years later. We can't let that happen again, guys. We've got to push Nancy Pelosi. For example, I'm not going to reveal our whole, divulge our whole hand here, but we try to be very smart, timely, and prescient about who we hit on what day, and etc. So we are guided by, obviously, what happens in the news. We're guided by what we hear, what we think, what we feel, what we smell, by even sometimes rumors that we hear. We're guided by basically having lived and breathed this issue for the past 17 years. So this coming week, I can't give you the full list, but we're going to be hitting some very key members of the Senate, some very key people, both D's and R's this coming week. So jump on and help out. And I think you'll find it's pretty fun. You know, we've come so far in the past 2.5 years. We finally have a great bankruptcy bill to fight for. Not perfect, but it's very good. It's exactly what is needed. We've got student loan cancellation, at least in the public conversation, although that conversation is just ridiculous right now, and it's been politicized. I do mean the Swig family, Jason Paskowitz. Great question. Real estate family in San Francisco. Nancy, every California politician basically kisses these people's rings, and that includes Gavin Newsom, and it certainly includes all of the Democratic California people like Kamala Harris and others. So good point. Heather Taylor says, I've been responding to fundraising emails from the Democrats explicitly telling them I am out of the party over their failure to cancel all federal student loan debt and restore our constitutional right to bankruptcy. I encourage you to do the same. That's right. I totally agree. They need to feel that they're not going to win any elections without full cancellation. There are 55 million of us. We can swing any election. You just stole all my thunder, Heather, but listen to Heather. And if you don't believe me, go to bit.ly/largest voting block. And you can see the numbers for yourself. By my best estimates, there's something like 42 million distressed student loan borrowers in the country. There's something like 57 million borrowers and cosigners when we include private loans, by the way. Something like 80 or 85% of those people are distressed, meaning that either they've already stopped paying, and that's more than half, or they were paying up until the pandemic, and their loan balances were going up, not down. So they were never going to be able to repay their loans. That's a lot of people. And the Democrats, if they think, and we try not to talk about other issues, but I will just say, if the Democrats think that abortion is going to save their bacon in the midterms, I think they are wrong. I think they are wrong. In fact, I think the number of people that Joe Biden has pissed off, and I mean lifelong Democrats, like what I see here from Jason Paskowitz and Heather, I think that's not, I think the way they betrayed us on the student loan issue, that's going to overwhelm any benefit they might see on the abortion issue. And I could be wrong, if you have any thoughts there, I don't know. But guys, 43 million distressed student loan borrowers who are by and large all pissed at Joe Biden and the party that he represents by extension. The Democrats are screwed if they don't do something very meaningful and very real by the election. They can do a fake token loan cancellation right before the election. I don't think that's going to do anything for them. We're not stupid. $10,000 isn't going to rush certainly almost anybody on our group. It's not going to magically get them to the polls to pull the lever for the Democrats. It's nonsense. What is real is returning to us the bankruptcy protections, the threat of bankruptcy that exists for all other loans. Yeah, then maybe I would trust the government, the Democrats, that they're actually serious. That's me personally. I know most people, they may or may not see. I don't. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself on that particular issue. But certainly, most people on this group have been around for any length of time, thought about this problem with any granularity, will tend to agree with me that some fake loan cancellation in the continued absence of bankruptcy is just one more amalgamation of the very same trick that's been played on us going back to, as I said, 2007, when the Democrats screwed us. Instead of giving us bankruptcy, they gave us public service loan forgiveness, and they gave us income-based repayment, and it was bullshit. So I've gone on maybe a little too long. I wanted to keep it short tonight, and so I'm just going to wrap it up very quickly by saying two things. Number one, do our daily actions and get ready to do our daily actions every single day through the first week in October, if getting these loans handled is at all important to you. We need you. You can't sit back and eat popcorn and wait and watch and think that me or Heather or Terry or Gordon or Jason or any of the other people I see here tonight, Joanna, others, you can't express. We're not going to carry your weight for you. We're not. We can't. It ain't going to happen. You've got to pull your own weight on this group. These are your loans, and this is your problem. And fortunately or unfortunately, we are the pioneers. And if we don't do it, if we don't get this done, it's not going to get done, guys. It's not going to. So the other bullshit student loan, whatever groups out there, they will take a $10,000 nonsense loan cancellation. They'll say, "Ooh, it's a win. Go vote for Democrats now. Woo, we won. Woo." That's what they're going to do. And that doesn't solve this problem. That's bullshit. We're not playing that shit, guys. We are trying to solve the problem. And if you want to actually solve this problem, not pretend solve this problem, you will join us and spread the word about this group. Because I'm telling you guys, nothing good is going to happen. Nothing. Way more people on this group start pulling their weight. And that's just true. And everybody who is, like everybody I just mentioned, Martha Monroe, who is confined to a freaking wheelchair, people like her, if if you're not more like Martha and everybody else, if you don't step up, own this problem, because let's face it, guys, I don't blame anyone for this mess, but you kind of did bring this mess on yourself by signing for the loan. So you have at least some kind of a responsibility, right? Certainly not to pay the loans. I don't blame anybody for this disaster of a unconstitutional lending scam. That was all the blame there resides in Washington, D.C. But these are your loans. This is your problem. And we will fail if you sit there and expect somebody else to pull your weight for you. You're not better than us. You should be one of us. And fighting this battle is very cathartic. So please do that. The last thing I probably should have said this the first thing I had meant to. Through October, first week in October, we have to raise money, guys. We've got to raise way more money than we've raised in the past on a monthly basis. Our email expense has gone up to like $1,700 a month now because we're sending emails to our entire list, and that's like 150,000 people nearly. We've got to raise money. We've just got to. And so please, if you could go to our website. Oh, let me click that in. If you can go to our website right there. Oh, wait. No, here it is right here. It was already there right there. If you go there, studentloanjustice.org, donate. Right now, for example, we need 7 more people to donate $20. That will help. This coming week, I haven't even calculated it yet, but I'm guessing this coming week, we're going to have to raise at least $1,000, guys. At least $1,000. Our monthly expenses are now tipping towards $4,000, which it's nothing compared to what our opposition spends against us. But in our universe, that's a tremendous amount of money. So please donate if you can, particularly if you have never donated before, if you haven't donated in a while. Okay. Last 2 things now that I'm looking at them. We're selling hats. See this hat, this distressed hat? This is more money stuff, guys. And I hate shilling for money. I just hate fundraising. I hate to do it. I hate it. But I have to do it. So get a hat. See the link, bit.ly, SLJ shirt, get a hat. Collector's items, very cool. And thanks, by the way, to Lisa Ansell in Los Angeles for making these hats happen. Other thing, I don't have my shirt. We have a shirt. Get a shirt. It's a very neat shirt. Very awesome shirt. Very expensive shirt, but it's a very high quality shirt. So do any of those things that I just mentioned on the fundraising thing, and just please help. So that's it, guys. I don't know what more I can say to tell you how important our battle is, but I can tell you that if we fail in this thing between now and the first week in October, there is nothing stopping the bad guys from doing what they did to student loans to all other loans in this country. They could erect this nonsense, impassable hurdle to bankruptcy for all loans. They could do that, and they will. And they would love to. And I've already heard whispers that they would like to do something similar with medical debt. So it's not just us that we're fighting for, guys. It's tens or hundreds of millions of people who are going to follow in our footsteps in college with student loans. Yes, that's true. But it's even the whole freaking entire country. John Adams, as Heather very rightly pointed out, John Adams said there are 2 ways to conquer and enslave a country. One is by the sword. The other is by debt. And that second thing is on my shoulder right now, and it's about to bite my head off and yours. This is a very important battle. Much is riding on it. We need you. We need you. And you need us. And you need everyone with student loans or without to help. So help. What else can I say? I'll be back tomorrow. Ed will be with you on Tuesday. The battle heats up now and for the next 2 months. If you're not fighting it, you're losing it. Don't be a loser. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Good luck. Godspeed. Godspeed, everyone. And God bless. Let's get this done.